Hello, welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. My name is Mirella,
And I'm Zoe.
and today we're going to watch and discuss episode 2 of Not Me.
I can't believe it's been 2 weeks since we watched episode one.
I kind of regret the decision to spread it out like this.
I know,
I couldn't
right?
wait.
Well, I feel like
Yes.
our listeners are gonna hate us a little bit, and I kind of hate us a little bit too, because it was so hard. Like after we watched episode one last week, all I wanted to do was just like watch the next like 13 episodes without stopping. Like someone having a binge fest because they haven't eaten sugar for like a little bit of time. I just wanted to eat all of the sugar all in one go. And then I managed to restrain myself. And then I got, it was a busy week. And then we did vice versa. And that was surprisingly fun. Um,
Surprisingly far, bruh. Come on.
yeah.
You will be even more surprised later. You'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm. Do you know what? Here you go. I'm gonna give you a little gift because I know that you're not feeling
Thank
fantastic,
you.
but I am actually looking forward to watching episode two of Vice Versa. So there you go. There's my little gift to you.
Thank you so much.
I I may like change my mind once I've watched it, of course, but we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
sure.
But yeah, episode two of Not Me. So like all week I've been thinking about it. And then for our listeners, like we were meant to record last night, but I was a zombie and too tired to do so. So we're doing it today instead. But I really wanted to do it, but I was afraid that the podcast was going to sound more like me talking like this and a hope of yawning that you would had to have edited out and
You
even more,
yawning, me coughing.
yeah,
Lots of
even
editing to do.
yeah, even more like confused, like plot, not plot points, but like even more, like how I have thoughts sometimes and it takes me a while to circle around back to my point, like that, but like way worse. And I would not have been able to find the point. We would have been looking for the point for about 10 minutes. And then eventually I would have forgotten
This
and you would have been
sounds so
so
defined, you know.
bored. You would have
I
been
kind
so
of
bored.
regret we didn't do it.
Well,
Sounds like
I
a
mean,
fun evening.
yeah, and I mean, I came home and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have a drink. And so I had a drink, I poured myself a drink, and then I was prepping myself for the podcast. And then I don't know, this weird thing started happening, and I'm just, couldn't speak pretty much. So anyway, today I'm a little bit more bright eyed and bushy tailed, as they say. I don't know where that saying comes from. It's a bit weird. Anyway, I'm so excited though. I'm just like, eee! It's funny because we were talking about it. I know we were talking about it earlier. You left me a message. I think you left me a message. Would have been yesterday for you. It was this morning when I
Yeah.
listened to it. And you were like, oh, and you mentioned a couple of things, and you said, I can't really remember what happens, but then you remembered and you were talking about some stuff. And as you were talking, I was just like, oh, I don't remember either. And then I just like, it just like this little light bulb thing, like in your brain turns on. And like, it was like a little, watching a little moving picture.
Mhm.
And I just remembered like all these like random things that happened in this episode. And I'm so excited.
I've been
Like,
avoiding thinking about it because I want to have fresh ideas.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, like
hoping of
an
viewing it from a new point of
that's right,
view.
an
Yeah, from
authentic response.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
I'm a bit the same. Like it's funny. Like as I said, I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember how the episode ends. Like there's so many things I don't like. The things that I remember are really random as well. But yeah, the more I'm like sitting here talking about it, the more things are starting to pop into
okay,
my
let's
brain.
not spend and let's just dig into the first part.
I know, right? Okay. It's only 10 minutes
Okay.
long. It's very sad. I like. I'm triggered now because I'm remembering. Uh, the first part of Vice Versa is like in 20 minutes, 90 minutes or something, and I remember thinking, "Oh wow, this is fun," and now we've
Yeah,
got
let's
10
just spend
minutes.
like half an hour on this 10 minutes part.
I know, right? Anyway, all right, let's go watch it, and we'll come back and talk about it. I'm sure we'll
Okay,
have plenty to
let's
say.
go.
Part one of four. Wow, I love this show so much. I, I'm like, seriously, what's wrong with me? But okay, okay. Serious talk though.
Good. Yeah. So
No,
we
hang on,
see
no, no,
them
no, no, no. Like before the actual serious talk, other serious talk. I think we should just record all of the episodes now.
riding.
I'm like part one down of episode 2, and I already want to just keep watching like for hours. Like, what the hell? Okay, anyway,
I
sorry.
mean, we can do that. We don't have to torture ourselves as well. We can just-
Just our listeners.
yeah.
Oh, I'm just like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Okay, all right. Actual serious talk. The first scene in this episode is amazing. It's so beautiful. This aerial shot of them on the motorcycles driving through the forest or woods or whatever you want to call it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, they're driving on their motorcycles to Teddy's mansion, and Graham lets know the others that there's a hill ahead. So,
Like,
so because White, yeah,
I was like, a hill.
Why- because White avoids to touch Sean and be close to him or anything. Like he does not hold on to anything basically. So Sean knows it and he asks White to grab onto him.
Yeah.
And because he's driving slow, he's
Mm-hmm.
being careful. He's afraid that Black will fall off,
Mm.
but White doesn't want to. And then he succumbs to Sean's pressure and he
Well,
hugs him tightly.
the bit is so like what the actual bit of this that I love is Sean says to him, hurry up, I can't keep up with them because of you, right? So
Mhm,
and then
mhm,
he's like, so and then of course there's this idea of this obstacle that's coming up that could be a problem,
mhm.
and for it not to be a problem they need to stick together. Like, it's so interesting because this dialogue that's happening here and the foreshadowing for like the rest of this episode, but not only this episode, like the entire show, this idea of that like dangerous shit's gonna happen and it's way safer if Black, aka White, is like permanently attached to Shaw.
No, it's so funny because White hugs him very tightly. Like he
Yeah, but
exaggerates because he's irritated, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
he asks close enough for you. But Sean just purses his lips and looks back at him like over his shoulder, and he does not say anything because he does not. He's not bothered by this at all. He likes
But
it. He's okay
it's
with it. Maybe he doesn't like it, but the fact that he just doesn't mind.
Yeah, I have a comment on that. So Sean is the
Yeah,
one who actually puts White's hand on him because White is still hesitating, and then he
yeah,
says
yeah.
to him like, "Don't let go," sort of thing, and
Oh God, oh God.
and then you get the bit where like where White grabs a hold of him and is like, is this close enough for you? Like, he's totally
Mhm,
taunting him with that. But I love the way like he's watching Sean, like after immediately after he says that and everything, and because he doesn't get the reaction he's expecting, like he's surprised as well, I think. But
mhm.
I like this bit where Sean puts White's hand around him and is like, "Don't let go." I'm just like, it's so romantic, and then I'm like, "No, Zoe, it's really not." But I'm like, it's so romantic.
No, because it's interesting if you think about it from the point of view of what you said, that it's kind of like a foreshadowing. Then when White asks the question, "Is this close enough for you?" and Sean does not answer, it makes me think that for Sean it's never close enough. The
No,
answer is
well,
no,
it's
just
not.
closer, as
Yeah,
closer and
yeah.
closer.
Yeah, as we get into it, it's not. There is no
Yeah.
close enough. Yeah. Oh, because they're so intense. I love it. But
And
yeah,
then we hear White's internal monologue, and now he's doubting
yes,
Black. He's getting scared
yeah. This
because
is
right now he got involved in this very dangerous situation where he is confused. He doesn't really know what they're doing, whether he is suspicious of them. And it's like, what if Black is not that innocent victim that he imagined him to be? What if
Yeah.
Black did something bad? What if he's the bad guy?
Mm-mm.
What if he had it coming? Who knows what happened? Now
Yeah.
he realizes that it's not as simple as he imagined it to be.
Yeah.
And
And it's interesting because when you think about, it's so funny. I was listening to the podcast episode that we're posting later on
Mhm.
in the future. Um and I say it's interesting a lot and I'm trying to break myself of that, but it is interesting that this, like, he
Funny and
said,
interesting.
yeah, he says this thing about like how he knows nothing about his brother, and that I said in the last episode, what was the last episode, or like in one of the podcasts we did for episode one, I said that I thought his, you know, another reason why it would have been comforting to him sliding into this persona is because this is a way to help him. And we were talking about the use of mirrors and stuff last time as well,
Mhm.
about seeing like this new version of Black but without all the bruises and all the rest of it, is like would have been comforting to him because it would have helped him feel close to his brother. And he
Mhm.
says in this moment that like he doesn't know anything about his brother, and he's feeling this distance now between them. Like he can't get that, you know, closeness back. That bond is it's getting further away from him. And as you said, it's really scary because he doesn't, this
Understand
person
him.
that, yeah, this person is, because you think of it as well, like he has a child's view of his older brother too. And you know, for him, Black is a hero.
Yeah,
Like
he
Black
was
is his
righteous. He
hero.
was a fighter.
Yeah. And so what he's seeing here is not, it doesn't line up with his image and his understanding of who Black is. And the more, and of course the deeper they get in, the more conversations that keep happening as well, with the others, and the way they react to him in response to Black. Like the bit where they get to the abandoned petrol station or whatever it's meant to be,
Mhm.
and Yokes offers him a cigarette, and he says no because of course Black smokes, White doesn't smoke. Graham is
Mhm.
surprised. Sean is
It
sort of
makes
just,
all of them suspicious. Yeah.
well, I don't think it makes Sean suspicious. I think in this moment, out of all of
Oh,
them,
Sean
he's not.
is suspicious.
No, but
Sean.
I don't think he is suspicious. Like this to me in this moment isn't one of the things that makes him suspicious. Like Graham thinks it's suspicious. Yoke's like, "Are you quitting?" Sean's thing is, no, he's just a dick who doesn't want to
I
owe
thought it
you
was actually
anything.
very, yeah, I thought it was very interesting the way this scene. I liked it because they start smoking and White looks at them as like as if the fact that they smoke, it's like another argument to the idea that they're the bad guys, and he declines, and they look at him incredulously. And yeah, you're right. Graham and York are surprised and maybe a bit suspicious, but Sean finds a justification for this, and
Yeah,
he provides some more insight into who Black is to White. And he says that it cannot be that he wants to quit. He's not viewed as someone who takes care of his health or well-being, or trying to improve himself in some way. He's just someone who doesn't want to feel caged. He doesn't
yeah,
want to owe anyone anything. He doesn't trust people.
mm.
He doesn't
And
want to expect anything from
yeah,
anyone, and he doesn't want anyone else to expect anything from him.
yeah, and he isolates. That's right. He isolates
Yeah, he's a
himself
loner.
by not,
Yeah.
yeah, not having anyone expect, as you said, expect things from him, not owing anyone anything. Like he is his own entity, and that's it. Which is really
Yeah.
interesting because he's a part of a twin set. So, like, and you know, I think I said as well in the last podcast as well that I have friends who are twins, and they are very different. Like they one was fine them being twins, and the other one was like rebellious and like wanted to be very much known as a different person, and you know, everything like that.
Mhm.
But yet I feel like that wasn't an issue for them. It's just that this has come about, like Black's, you know, whole I'm only for myself kind of mentality has come because like White was taken from him.
I
And
think
that's
it
it.
also is because the people that he is supposed to trust most betrayed his
Yeah.
trust and
It,
expectations.
well, there's
His
that too.
mother, his
Yeah.
friend
Also,
Todd, probably. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he must have had his um doubts and issues with what the way the people that are closest to him live his lives.
Yeah. I
So
think,
this
yeah, I
made
think,
him like this.
yeah, I think you're spot on with that actually. Yes, the people he should trust, he can't. And then also, as I said, I feel like that pain of having White taken from him is not something he wants to experience again. So why let people get close? It seems like the only person he really, really, truly let get close to him, is Todd. And we'll find out what happens with that in future episodes.
Well,
But
I don't know. Todd did not know about his girlfriend, for example.
no, but that's sort of like the time. The, one of the things that this show does,
I feel like, he's one of those people who doesn't really trust anyone. This is why he separated these parts of his life so well, so that every all these different people in his life know certain parts of him.
but not the whole
So
picture.
we have access to a certain amount of information, but no one knows him fully. No
Yeah,
one
that's
really knows
you. Yeah,
everything about
that's true, and that's with everybody, isn't it? Yeah. I also think though, like the time frame on when he had his girlfriend and stuff between Todd and Black later on is like it may not be as linear as we think it is. Like it's the timing on this. Some of it is kind of interesting to know when what happened where and stuff. But yeah, so
I just
we
I like it so much. The fact that he's not even we saw the real Black for like a few seconds, but he's so present and he's so interesting, and we find so much about him along with White. It's so fun. It's
but it's
fun.
it's done in such a clever way. Like this is it.
Hmm.
They are building Black's character and he's not even in it.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like
it
that's just good fucking writing right there. Like that is
is.
just good
It is.
storytelling. And they're doing it in a way that's not like super obvious. There's not like someone
Mhm.
standing there going, "Oh, Black was like this and he looked like this and acted like
Yeah,
this."
yeah.
Like, like we're not being told, about him as a character. We are learning who he is
We are
through
being
the
shown.
experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very,
Here,
very
he doesn't. He
interesting.
smoke, and this is their action. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
so good.
Do you know what's really funny? Just to go backwards a little bit, I was like
Yeah.
laughing because I noticed that like when they first pull into the abandoned petrol station thing or whatever it is,
Mhm,
like you see Sean and White are in the lead on their bike, and it's like
mhm,
5 minutes ago, like Sean was just saying, "I can't keep up with them because of you," like we need to be close, and then now suddenly
mhm.
they're close and they're like in the lead. It's like the power of them being together, catapulted them into the lead. Like
Oh,
it's
look at you being all romantic.
it's like like watching it laughing because I'm like 5 seconds ago they were in the behind and now they're in the lead. But yeah, I love how confused White is. Like he's like, why are we here? Like he's
Wide-eyed.
yeah, he's just like the like pretty much a whole heap of this like first part is just White being like, I don't know what's going on and I don't like it. And when
I
I
just
do
feel
find
like I feel like if everyone else wasn't stressed about this whole plan of theirs, because everyone else must be anxious and
oh
scared,
yeah, they're
and
like
they're
distracted.
yes, they focused on what they are supposed to do. If that one, like he was so lucky
Yeah,
because lucky and unlucky, because the first thing that he had to do with them was this, and so he learned a lot during this experience, and
yeah,
they were distracted to not notice how weird he was and different.
yes, yes. And it's so like what we find out here too as well. This is a really interesting scene because we find out this thing basically and I never realized it when obviously it's like one of those things. And you know what? It's never occurred to me in the many times I've watched this that this is kind of revealed to us here. But they tell us essentially in this bit when they're talking about like what the plan is and everything. Um that Yoke and Graham are the lookouts. and that
Yeah.
Sean and Black, aka White, are the hands-on ones of the team. They're the ones that take all of the risks essentially,
Mm-hmm.
while the other two hang back and just like make sure it's, you know, safe or whatever. Um,
What I thought was interesting was that when they talk about it, Sean puts White on the spot again, asking him to go out of the plan, and he doesn't want to. He kind of learns. He he's
he's,
learned enough to know how to respond to this, so that he doesn't raise
I love his
suspicion.
false
So
bravado. He's just like,
Yoke,
yeah,
yeah, Yoke is asked to do it again, and what I thought was a cute little moment is when Sean says, "So no one deviates from the plan again," and he points at White.
mm.
We know he does deviate from their plans later in the story, and apparently it is also a Black thing as well.
Ah, yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but yes, you must. That's it. That's very true as well.
Which
So,
is like a thing that an individualistic person would do, right?
mm-mm.
Not really stick to the plan and trust themselves more than the others and take the lead in this way. It is also maybe a leader thing to expect everyone else to trust you and just go along with it, but also a bit egoistical, a bit, it's
Yeah,
a very complex thing.
it's
And it shows that they are actually similar.
they are, but their motivations are different.
Yeah.
Like we're jumping the I'm jumping the gun in pointing that out, but
Yeah, that's true.
pardon
But I
pardon
thought
the
it was a
pun. I'm
nice
not, but
It was a nice touch. I think this
yeah,
is the first time I noticed this. Like he
no,
pointed at Black while
this
saying,
is the
"Deviate
beauty.
the plan from the plan."
Yeah, this is the beauty of like knowing this show so well, but now looking at it in such a different way, is there's
Put
all these things.
cast-wise, yeah.
And I honestly, I want to fly to Thailand, get down on my knees in front of Pinucci and bow, because like this is clever. Like even the stuff, as I said, with Yoke and Graham and that, like we see that later on, like in all of their plans, these are the roles that they take on. Um, and so like this information is given to us here, and as you said, the information about the fact that both White and Black share this trait of, you know, deviating from the plan, so to speak. Black's
Hmm.
is, as you said, an egotistical.
Doing things, doing things their own way.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, I think with Black, it's his is motivated by I know better,
Yeah.
my way or the highway, you know, like
Hmm.
do it or else kind of
Yeah.
mentality. Whereas White's is because,
There must be a better way.
yeah, he's afraid. Like what he the reason for him doing it is because he wants everyone to come back safe. He
He doesn't
he
want to hurt anyone.
he doesn't
Yes.
want to hurt anyone,
Want
and
to,
he doesn't want them to get hurt, specifically
he
Sean.
doesn't want. Yeah. He also doesn't want negative consequences.
That's right.
He wants
We're,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas Black doesn't care about any of that. He
Well,
wants the
I don't
resi.
think he doesn't entirely care about any of that, but he is more hot-headed and
Well, we're
uh,
shown we are shown like
idealistic.
we are shown hints of the fact that he Black is more about the cause than the people involved. So like I feel like if he and White had been in this battle together from the start, they would have butted heads, because Black has this like, this we need to do this thing has to happen because we need the solution from this, and he doesn't care if like he has to sacrifice Sean or like whatever, it's for the cause, you know what I mean? Whereas White is
Yeah,
like, this is important, but also it does not going to mean anything, it's not worth anything if we
yeah,
don't all make it out alive, kind of thing.
yeah.
So
We're
whereas
getting ahead of ourselves
we are,
because this is an interesting conversation for later. Just let's go on with what's going on here.
I'm like, you started it, all right.
So I do have a lot to say regarding this because this one of the conversations from that later is one of my favorite moments, if not my favorite moments from the series. So
Yeah.
I just want to keep it for later.
Yeah.
So
You're like, let's just put a pin in it,
exactly.
and we'll see what's happening. But yeah, it's like,
White is so confused. He doesn't he didn't have time to get to know them to understand what their motivations are.
No, well, he
Like
doesn't
from
know
all
why
he
they're
knows,
doing
he might
this.
just be some very angry people who
Yeah,
just want to do some damage.
that's right. He doesn't know why they're doing this. Like I mean, obviously he's gotten enough information from the way
From
Graham
Bram.
spoke about this
Yeah.
house to know that it's a sore point, but like it
Hmm.
doesn't, that's not enough to like go and create like mass vandalism, like as far as he's concerned. And he's looking at it from an outside perspective. So he's looking at it without any bias and things like that, except I suppose you could call his fear a bias, but that aside, he's looking at the big picture of like, what if someone gets hurt? Like it's illegal, like all of these different things that
Yeah,
with
so basically, the way he's looking at it is how the way people who are not involved, who will just hear about it on the news, not as intense, obviously, because they will not be a part of it, will
yeah,
think of it.
yeah, well that's right, because he doesn't have the motivations that they have, where he can go, like he can justify the risk of like, okay, it's illegal, but like it'll be worth it because this will happen, or like, you know what I mean, like he doesn't have that justification because he doesn't have the history and the knowledge that they have. So it is a very like intense kind of um moment with him, where he's just like constantly going like, what the hell about what they're
Yeah,
about to do.
and he freaks out, and he must reach out to the only person that knows what he, well, to some extent, what he's going through, and knows who he is. So he calls Todd. And
Yes, and
Todd's
that's right.
response, thinking it's Black. He's like, "Hello, Black."
Yeah.
Of
Well,
course.
there was so many interesting bits in this. So of course, to go back for a second, it's funny because we talked about in the last podcast about how like from the moment when they first met, basically White becomes fixated on Sean. Like, but it's Sean is just as fixated on White because he cannot
Mm.
comprehend why Black is behaving the way he is. And like he's just watching him constantly now. And so like when he White takes off and goes to ring Todd, like he's watching, he sees that. Um and
You
it's
know, I
like,
think he's also a bit anxious because Black is the leader.
yeah, yeah.
Black, if Black backs out, he can convince the others to back out as well.
Yeah. I
So
think
he
the other
keeps asking him, "Do you want to just wait this one out? Do you want, like, just I will do it. Just you just stay there." He's also scared that because of Black, they might just not do it at all.
I think that's part of it, but I also think
Part of it, of course.
besides him
Yes,
being
part of it.
freaked out by the fact that like Black is, in air quotations, acting strangely, he doesn't trust Black either. Like he doesn't like him and he doesn't trust him. So he's got reasons for that, which we find out later on, but like besides being kind of wigged out by his weird behavior, he also doesn't trust him enough to like this like with the others, they're like, oh, Black's acting weird, like whatever. But with
Hmm.
Sean, he's like, Black's acting weird, what is this going to mean, like what is the outcome of this? um
Hmm.
but I also did think it was really, like I said, this scene's really interesting. I thought it was interesting about the way when Todd answers his phone, as you said, he calls him Black and White has to correct him. Um, and then
And then White tells him
Todd,
what the situation is,
yeah,
and Todd
Todd,
basically pushes him to go
he
with the
does,
flow. Just
yeah,
do it. Just, you're not
he,
you right now. You're playing a part. It's Black. It's
that's right,
Black's fault. It's
yeah,
not. It's like he not justifies White, but he absolves him of every like the responsibility of what he's doing, because
he
you're in
he's
Black's skin
yeah,
right now. Just go with it.
he's doing here, like when he speaks to Todd, Todd is doing the thing that I was mentioning before, where like White is looking at this thing that they're doing, going, what the hell? And they have these justifications as to why it's a good idea or whatever.
Hmm.
Todd gives him his own set of justifications in that he says, if you try and back out now, like you'll expose yourself. Like he reminds him that the bigger picture is like finding out who hurt Black. Like so he's giving him his own set of justifications to,
Yeah.
and he says to him, you don't actually have to be like an active participant, but you have to go along and see what happens. Like you
Hmm.
need to find out what's happening, sort of thing. And then it's interesting because we just talked about like Sean being suspicious of White and everything, and we see Sean and he's like, and White, he sees him in this moment. I feel like it's different. I feel like it's different from the last episode when he was concerned about about White fucking up, or Black fucking up
Hmm.
rather. Like I feel like he's still concerned about that for the same reasons and things, but it's
Hmm.
weird. It's like he's softer with White in this scene. This scene where he goes after him and he almost catches White on the phone. It's
Hmm.
like it's like that thing. It's like he's I feel like he's unconsciously reacting to the fact that White is softer. Like
White
he
is
speaks
scared.
to him in he has
White
this
is
tone.
scared, and White is looking for comfort. And he called Todd for that, and he did not really find the comfort
He
that he
doesn't
needed.
get
For
it, but
sure.
he sort of
Yeah,
gets it in a weird way from Sean here, because
yeah,
Sean lowers his tone. He touches him on the shoulder, like, and not in a violent way. And he sort of like is saying to him, you know, like, "Are you okay?" Da, 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 da. I mean, that's not what he says, but you know what I mean. Like, this is
yeah.
this is the moment, and it's but the way he's talking to him, as I said, it's like this thing that we do as people, where unconsciously we alter our behavior to reflect the people that we're dealing with. Like if someone's like acting crazy, we can't we talk very calm and slowly and in like even tones. You know, if someone is you know, angry, sometimes we'll do the same thing. We're trying to appease them, you know. And it's almost like he is responding to White in this way, that is so far from, because like the way that Black would be acting in this moment. Like if he tried to touch Black's shoulder and be like, "Are you okay?" Like the response he would get, like from what we're being told, what we're being shown, would be so different. Like it's just, and it's not even a thing. Like he's, yes, he's concerned about like Black, once again air quotations, fucking up, but in this moment he's definitely talking to White. Like it's like it's, and he doesn't even realize it. Like I feel like this is this like more so than before, where they became very aware of each other and then he became suspicious. This is like a moment where I feel like you could draw a line back to it, where he is altering himself to meet White, like who White is. Does that make any
It
sense?
also made me think. Yeah, yeah, it does. But it also made me think of the good cop and the bad cop
Yeah.
because the way this scene plays out, Sean with a flashlight right into White's face, and
Mhm.
now he's soft, and then he's aggressive, and he's soft again, and then he's
Yeah.
aggressive. Like made me think of those intense interrogations.
When White comes back out, like when White follows him out, he's now he's composed himself. Like he was able to, like he was freaking, like when Sean came into him, he was freaking, like borderline freaking, crying, like whatever out. And you know, Sean comes to him and they have their interaction, and then when he comes out and joins the group, he's more or less composed himself. And as you said, he
But
didn't get that from Todd.
Sean must be, yeah, Sean must be so confused because imagine if they are the partners that do the thing, that
Mm,
needs to be done. It means that he knows how Black acts in these kinds of situations. And
that's
I
right.
suppose that, well, Black is the leader. Sean used to lean on him. Black used to lead. Black probably was the rock, the confident one who
Mm,
just gave him not support, but he could kind of just go with the flow with what Black is doing. And
yeah.
right now, Black is has this weird energy, and it's like he does not have that confidence
No.
that he would take from Black,
It's so
and now
funny.
he's the one who needs to provide it.
It's so funny though, because it's like this this thing that like he doesn't like, he's like so uncomfortable with, and so like I guess almost frightened of a little bit, because as you said, like this is, although he can't trust Black and he doesn't really, you know, like him or anything, he as you said, he's used to things being a certain way. To a certain extent he knows what he's going to get with Black. um and then this like softer, unsure version is like, it's so what's the word I'm looking for? It's throwing him so much, because like as much as it's freaking him out, he kind of likes it. Because
I
let's
don't
be
know. I
honest,
don't know
that's
if he kind of likes it right now. I think right now he's too confused and scared.
in this moment he's really stressed, so not so much.
Yeah.
But like later on, definitely. Like it's like even when he gets angry and he's like acting like
So
a
like I
dick,
think
it's because he likes what's going on and he doesn't know how to do it, because he doesn't, this besides the fact that
we're
like
getting ahead of ourselves again, I think.
yeah,
No?
yeah, we are.
Okay. So,
I'm like, I
uh,
just want to talk about it forever.
so
Okay, all
they
right.
get back. They get
Yeah.
back, and
So
Y does a very unblack thing when he starts asking them if they're sure that they're
yeah, he's
doing
like, are we really
this,
gonna do
and
this?
Yok says something like, "How come someone like you is concerned about others all of a sudden?" Again, another
Yeah,
insight into Black's character,
yeah.
and
Which
how
backs
he
up,
acts.
yeah, which kind of backs
Actually.
up what I was saying before as well, where like Black's motivation is the end, like goal being met, like so the end justifies the mean.
Yeah, and here we get Sean's motivation on the surface level. He says he must know. He's talking about Tavi. That people are angry because he's above the law. He is the angry person. He
And
is the one
he
who's angry at
Yeah,
Tavi
and he
for
also
choosing
he
above
also
the law.
justifies here by saying like, how could we get into trouble, or how could something bad happens? We're going to burn down a house that no one lives in. Like, so he's saying, like, he's justifying what they're doing um in that moment as well. And it's so
Yes,
interesting because it begs the question then, like, there's that saying that there are no victimless crimes. So, you know, doing, and this is where White's issues come into it later on, is that like doing a bad thing for the right reason, you have to work out, is someone, like, is no one going to get hurt? Like, who is going to get hurt? Someone is going to get hurt, whether it's like a physical thing or a money thing or like whatever. So for example, in this situation, you could say, okay, like, all right, there's no one in the house, but they're pretty sure there's a guard or guards, because they talk about like looking out for the guards and that. So like, okay, so you say you take care of the guards like get knocked out or whatever, you burn down the house. You don't think those guards are going to get into trouble like from you doing this? They're going to lose their jobs probably. There's like someone like Tawi is like maybe vindictive enough to try and like make sure they never get work anywhere else. Like there is always, like, it's never going to be a victimless crime, and that is something that kind of comes into this as well. Like later on, this like moral dilemma of, doing the wrong thing for the right reason. Can you ever actually really do that without someone getting hurt?
yes. And then Graham looks at Black, and he has this softer expression on his face, something that does not happen with the others, and he pats him. And, you know, even if he doesn't know much about Black, he did see the softer side.
Yeah,
He did
I
see
think
him
he. Yeah, I think
with the girlfriend.
he understands that it's not like with Black, like as you
He
said,
knows that
they're
it's
all,
not just a heartless shelf
yeah, yeah.
just to
Like
rob.
you were
But he
saying
knows there's
before,
a
like
person.
that's right.
He
You were
knows there's
saying
a person complex, something that he suspects some things being more complicated than they look. Something
yeah,
that the other two did not really have
yeah. Because as you said, like
reason to think about.
Black is a someone who gives each little person a part of himself and not everything. Graham is in the position, or he has made himself aware by being in a position of seeing that there's more to him than that. So like he has the insight that, like, yeah, like what you're saying, like, not it's like Black is not just what you see. There's more beneath the surface. Um Whereas the other two don't really care about that. So they haven't
Yeah.
taken the time to get to know him, or like realize that that's a thing. But
So then Sean asks Black to go take down the guard, and he watches White go, and we see that he's being all suspicious and curious and concerned, and who knows. And why just so stressed? Like, wouldn't you turn off the light on this thing on your head when you're trying
I,
to
I, I just need to
take
say
someone by
something.
surprise?
I need to say something before we get into that, because this whole first part is basically like them all saying to White, "You do this or you do that or you whatever," and White just being like, "What the fuck?" And it's like the same thing happens here, because like they're like, "Oh, there's a guard and blah blah blah, and no one's in the house," and like Sean's just like, "You go and take care of him," and I feel like it was a test as well, like from Sean, because he
Mhm.
watches him like go and then he follows him. So, but yeah, I was the same thing. I'm watching White go in there and I'm like, the place is dark or whatever. Like, turn your fucking light off. Like, I know he needs it to see, but it's like, especially when he gets discovered by the security guard and he starts backing away, like, but you can see the light moving. So, like, the guy's gonna just follow the light, man. You'll catch him.
He's stressed, okay? He doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, he
And
really is.
and then Sean appears and he, puts down the card.
It's
They
like,
do the movie thing where you put something against someone's nose and suddenly they cannot. Suddenly, it's not like they cannot breathe for like humans can stop breathing for a few seconds. He just goes down, but it's just a movie
I know.
thing.
It's like it's one of those things, because um
You
like
have to
people.
suspend your disbelief with this stuff
Well,
because otherwise it would just be boring to watch.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's the fact that, yeah, as you said, it wouldn't happen that fast, but also people don't use stuff like that these days, because, like, for starters, you would want to wear gloves or you would want to whatever, because anything that has that strong a reaction on the like circulatory system of a human, if you've got it if you're holding it on a cloth in your hand with no gloves on, you're going to absorb it yourself. It won't be as potent. Potentially, maybe it needs to be, you know needs to touch a mucous membrane like the nose or the mouth or whatever. But like, what do we do as people? What happened when COVID started? I never realized how much I touched my face until COVID started and they said stop touching your face. I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, oh my god, all I do is touch my face all day. Like, so,
I realized I did not touch my face that much actually.
oh my god,
I'm pretty good
I
at this.
used to. I don't so much now, because I was like never aware of it. Now I'm aware of it. But like, I remember watching this really interesting documentary about, a little off topic, but we're about talking about what the chloroform or whatever this is meant to be on the cloth. And this guy who was like an ex, like, I don't know, Russian spy or um British spy or something, was saying like, this is something they used to do back in the day, but they stopped because what would happen is they would knock someone out and then the person would knock themselves out because they would have the stuff on their hands or whatever. And so this is what, like, I was thinking of when I was watching this scene, is I'm just like, Sean, don't put your fingers in your mouth later, or whatever. But yeah, he went down very quickly, and like, White is having a friggin' panic attack basically in the corner, and Sean's just like, stay focused. I'm like, dude, he's like
And
about to
again,
collapse in a puddle on the
again with the
floor.
neck
Yes.
grabbing.
Yes. Like, I'm like, did you really need to touch him? The answer is yes, of course. But like, still. And I mean, this thing, like, where Sean sends him off and like White goes. I'm like, what are you planning on doing in there? Like, were you going to like talk to the security guard and be very diplomatic? Like, what was he planning? Like, what was his plan?
Yeah, no, me too. I was like, why?
Like, do you know
What
what I
was the
mean?
plan, White?
Like, okay, like, I know you have to go and do something because you've been given this order, but like, surely, do you not have a plan? Is your plan just backing her away slowly and like hoping for
Going
the
with the
best?
flow.
Yeah. So like, and then I'm just like,
And then that's it.
Sean, how are you just like, he's so focused. He's so focused on what they're doing, and it needs to, like, this is a testament, the way he reacts here, Sean, the fact that he's aware enough to know that like Black is like, it's like, what the fuck with Black, that he is
Mhm.
like, taking this time to be, like, nurse with him and everything. But at the same time, it's a testament to how focused he is and how like strong his vengeance is, that he is just like, I can't deal with
How
this right
important
now.
this mission this is to him.
Yeah, he's like, you need to get your shit together because I can't deal with this right now. Like, this is not important. Like, grab your shit and let's go.
Yeah.
And he's just on to the next thing. Like he's conscious enough, as I said, to like watch um
And
White walk
intervene.
away and intervene, yeah, but he's not in a position to be like to stop what they're doing and be like, okay, we need to have a conversation because you're acting really fucking weird. I need to know
Yes.
what's going on. Like that is not something that he has in him in this moment. But yeah, so I'm just like, oh,
Well,
I love it so much.
let's go watch part two.
Okay, part two, let's do it. So first off, hello, Gaywin.
Hello, Unar. Is it
Yes.
Unar or Unar?
Ah, Una. I think it's Una. It's so funny we're both
Unar.
gonna be wrong. um, and
With painting of Tawi, and Unar is painting his own
painting portrait or
creation on the wall, right, of the
of the
Tawi's
house.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
we have Sean telling Black to try and keep up, which is I thought is interesting too, because it's like he's like, I don't know
he
if he
starts
has. It's like I what I said before. He doesn't have time for this.
he instinctively starts taking charge of the whole operation. He
Well,
tries to ask Black what to do next, and
yeah.
White is like, I think there should be a better way.
Yeah, he's essentially making them try and change their mind, which just pisses off Sean and Yoke. Which,
Yes.
you know what, I get because this is not the moment to have that conversation. And Sean sort of says to him, do you want us all to die here? Like, they're in the middle of committing the crime. This is the conversation you have before you leave the house to commit the crime. And in White's defense, he didn't
Yeah,
know what they were doing, but that's not the
it's
point.
too much for York. And I like how we see their group dynamic, or at least the way it probably is when Black is in the group.
Yeah. Well, Black,
The
what,
his
what,
and
yeah,
York's relationship is quite explosive. With Sean, there's a bit of respect, but animosity because of their
yeah,
past experiences, I guess. Graham is a mediator.
yeah.
He calms everyone down. And that's, I think, how funny it is that York is like this. We see him as this angry, hot-headed person when in reality he's this cute, caring, flirty cinnamon roll of a person.
I think the thing is like Sean doesn't like Black, but he needs him, and he realizes that he needs him, right? Yoke just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like Black. Like they're not friends, and he doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
care whether Black's there or not. Graham is his friend, or as much of his friend as he can be. So like it's so interesting when the dynamics shift in all of their relationships between Graham and White as Black and then Yoke and so on and so forth, because like the dynamics are so different,
I
suddenly
also
things
think
change.
York is such a sweet and soft person that maybe someone like Black would perceive him as weak.
Yeah,
And sometimes when there are people that are soft and polite and nice, and they're not like this because they're weak, they just want to be kind, and then there are people who perceive them as someone that they can just write and make fun of, or just use them in some ways. These people can feel it, and suddenly they become defensive and
mm,
act aggressively. And I see something like this, um, that it might have happened with York and Black.
yeah,
This
potentially.
is maybe the relationship came to be like this.
Mm-mm. I think as well, like something potentially to talk about later is that like each of them have very different motivations for like what they're doing, like Black and Sean and and Graham and Yoke, and like this division that we have of them in regards to like what their roles are in these assignments and like how they function as a group seems to kind of fit in with that. It's like Sean and Black's motivation for this is way more intense and like a lot more important to them necessarily. I'm not saying not more important is like you can't quantify that, but like the the rage and anger and disappointment and like what it frustration and all that is driving them is a lot stronger than like,
No, I think
Graham.
it's not that it's stronger, but it's more directly related, you know?
Yeah, it's personal.
We represents Tawi is represents Black Smother. It's basically, just another form of the same being, the corrupted
Hmm.
persona that basically does bad things. Sean has been directly affected by Tawi. York has also a very strong motivation, but Tawi is not directly related to what is bothering him and what he wants to change about the society.
Mm-mm-mm. That's right. Yeah.
Not
So he's just
directly.
not. Yeah, and for Graham, it's more idealistic than
Yeah.
like a personal, vendetta or like whatever. Um, it's
He's
so
looking at the
funny.
big picture, kind of.
Yeah. Remind me, like in a few episodes' time, to tell the story of the theory that Mum and I had about Tawi and Black and
Oh,
White's mum.
um, yeah. I think this crossed everyone's minds at some point.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was the same theory that we had. We had like
Mm.
this like insane theory, and it was like we were like we were holding on to it tight for a couple
Wow.
episodes. um,
Okay.
I'm still not sure it would not have been a good like thing, but maybe it would have been too like I don't know soap opera-ish. But anyway, remind me
Mm.
to tell you in a couple episodes time. Um,
So
so
White
Sean.
pours the gasoline into the drain while the
Oh,
other
hang on,
one.
hang on, hang on, hang
Yeah.
on, hang on, hang on. Before we get to that, so Sean takes over, and it's interesting because even though he's having this like major, you know, distrust of Black in this moment because White is acting shady as fuck, he still trusts him, and like, and I said to you before, he doesn't trust him, but he
Yeah, yeah.
trusts him
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
mission. He still trusts him enough to send like in that he knows that Black can do it, like Black
Do
can
his
get the
part.
job done. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he trusts him enough to send him off on his own to do stuff while he takes the other
Well,
two with him because like
if him following a Black to the guard's cabin was a test, also White did go in. He did not successfully finish, the job, but he did go inside, and
mm-hmm.
Sean did see that. Maybe he thought he was caught by surprise or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Interviewing, something went wrong. It was. It's funny because White was justifying um himself being evasive in regards to the plan with testing them, but it's actually, he was tested by Sean.
yeah, yeah. So like he's yeah, so Sean, as you said, essentially could justify that like maybe something happened, and so he's still on board enough to be able to get the job done, and so yeah, he sends him off on his own, and then like with this insight that they're the ones that usually do the hands-on stuff. So even though Black's like acting shady, he just assumes he can still get the job done. Whereas Graham and Yoke may need further direction, so he takes them with him since he's now taken the leadership role of it. Um, but what I don't really get is what White does here.
I'm thinking the fact that he pours gasoline into the drain is
Yeah,
gasoline or some other I
combustible.
forgot, whatever. So um maybe maybe it's something that allows them to save Unar later and not
It
die
is.
themselves.
It is. It is. The fact that he doesn't pour in the completely in the area where he was told to is the only reason they can get up to him. Um, but what I'm saying is like from the logic perspective of White's brain, like I remember the first time I was watching this episode and I'm like, why are you doing that? Because I
But
get
what
it.
was
Like,
he
oh,
supposed
oh,
to do? What was he supposed to do, Zoe?
no, no, but
Was he supposed to come back with that thing full of gasoline?
no, but like, okay, so from this perspective, look, like as I said, I get it. He doesn't want to be involved, and so he's
Yeah.
trying to get rid of the gasoline, like whatever. But
Mhm.
like, without pouring water, running water down these taps behind that fuel, all he's done is given a direct line through the house of like a combustible fluid. Like it's coating the pipes now.
Well, you know, maybe he did, but we did not see that. We did not see that.
I don't think so. But yeah, so I'm just like, you know, it's logic. It's like Zoe, it's the show. My brain doesn't turn off. It's like the scary place in there. There's, you know, in some corners there's weird boxes stacked in cobwebs, but generally there's like a monkey playing cymbals and a bunch of rodents on wheels. It just keeps turning all the time. So I'm, you know, watching this for fun, and then my brain's going like, why? But yeah, I get it. I was just like, it's, to me, it's still the funniest thing that he poured it down the drain, because it didn't do anything. But it does work in the favor of him not pouring it in that area, or like just leaving it in that area for, you know, whatever, means that they were able to, you know, have a pathway to save Una.
Yeah.
And then
And then
the
they set the building on fire. Oh my God, I love the way it was filmed. It's so beautiful.
well, the other thing that gets me about this show though is that none of them ever wear gloves. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
I did not pay attention to that. I was
I
looking at
did.
the pretty
I
fire,
did. Well,
everything burning.
because I was looking in the like watching them light the what do they call those, Molotov cocktail like bottles and that, and I was like, this is such a good scene of them standing there holding them on fire and everything, and like watching them light it and all that, and I'm just like, why aren't you wearing gloves?
I was just thinking, don't usually like slow motion scenes. I feel
Mm,
like most of the times they're overused,
mm,
and but here it works so well. It's very effective. I loved it. When they throw the Molotov cocktail into the building, it's, and when they light it on fire, it's filmed in slow motion.
yeah,
And
it's really really good, but as I said, like I'm just like, I, you know, for the perspective of being critical, right? Like only, and as I said, because my brain works in weird ways and stuff. Like they're all smart guys, right? So like you they did research into this. You know what I mean? Like they did a lot of
mhm,
planning and research. And so it just baffles me that none of them wear gloves. Like it's like yeah, I don't know how the system works over there, but I'm assuming like there's, you know, a fingerprinting system or whatever, and they're probably not in it because they've probably never been in any serious trouble or anything before. But like eventually you're going to commit a crime, and like in this instance, you know, like fire destroys but also preserves things like fingerprints and stuff, especially on glass and that, because, you know, it's just one of those things, and I couldn't stop my brain once again stop thinking about these things. And then, you know, things happen later on and I'm like, there's never any gloves, like, and I would like yelling at my TV like, where are the gloves? Like it's like, do you want to have these things linked so that like you like, did they want Tawi to know it was them, like the same people, or is it like they just didn't think about the gloves? Like I really don't know, but it's one of those things that like bugs me. But yeah, I love this scene. I thought they did such a good job of filming the fire and everything.
mhm.
Like I don't know how many people know this, but this is not a show that was given a huge budget. Like there was so many things that they had to do themselves, and like it was just, it did not get like the respect it deserved, and you would never know. Like it's the cinematography and everything about it is was done in such a way that like this felt really real.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In a really like scary kind of way to
Yeah.
watch.
And then we switch to Unar, and he is drawing a tree that is being cut. And there are people in the tree with creepy smiles on their faces. And
Yeah,
from what I thought, one of them was a politician, another one was a judge, another one
police
was a
officer.
policeman.
Mm.
Yes, and I don't know
I
who the
think the other
one
one's
that
meant to
was
be
wearing
Tawi, I
white.
think, but I'm not sure.
Who was wearing white? No, I think maybe the one who was wearing a suit was Tawi, the
Oh, okay.
politician. There was another one who was wearing white, and I'm not sure because he had something like a red or yellow thing. I don't know. I really don't. If
So,
you know who that is,
yes.
please write to us on Twitter, on Tumblr, or email or
Yeah.
Spotify.
So
I
someone
am
might be able to
curious.
tell us. Yeah.
And I like how these people have this very eerie expressions on their faces, the people that he's drawing, because they're
Mm.
basically masks.
It's interesting too the way, like, I mean, obviously they're in the tree, so they have to be like, you know, like it seems like they're in it together. You know what I mean? But like you could have drawn them, you know, all over the tree haphazardly, but it's like they're in this group, like they're linked, like it's very clear.
And they're like in a tree which has roots, and they have to be cut
Mm,
in order to be taken down. It's
yeah.
not as simple. I really like the imagery. I
Yeah,
like what you're
it's
doing. I'm going to pay attention to the
yeah, the
pictures.
art is very interesting. Like the art
Mm.
in this show is once again, it's just one more thing that they did very very well. Like it's very symbolic. The art style is interesting as well, and just but just the way, yeah, the way they use it, and as you said, these smiles on the face, because the person who is doing the art is not a happy person either. So it's interesting that, like, you know,
Is
like
also
Una,
wearing the mask. Yes.
yeah, Una is damaged. So like this idea of having all these smiling people or like surrounding him is, yeah, it's almost like a
And it's
punishment.
it's like a vengeance a message, because what they did was that they created they um built this house in this area that was not supposed to be touched. It was not theirs, basically, right? This is the
Mm-hmm,
idea.
mm-hmm.
And maybe like they cut people from their roots, they move them away, they um like cutting a tree, the way they
Yeah,
display those people who live there, and now he is drawing them being a part
yeah,
of the tree who is being cut. And it's like it's going to come around,
yeah, like full circle. Yeah, and it's interesting because it gives multiple reasons to, like, multiple meanings for the cutting of that, as you said, like, you know. But the other thing I couldn't help as well, as I said, my brain is an extremely scary place. So while I'm watching all of this happening, this scene, like my reaction was that Gawain or Una was like, he was like Nelly. He was like, "It's getting hot in here."
My reaction is that, oh my god, why aren't you closing the door? Once you opened the door and he saw the hellfire, he
I
should have closed.
know. He clearly has never done a fire warden training session, because if he did, he would know to close that door behind him to stop the spread of fire. There
The
you go.
fire,
PS.
the smoke, if you
Yeah,
open the
you're feeding it
door to the
oxygen.
balcony and oxygen comes in, you're making it even worse. Like, yeah, the
Mhm.
door should have been
Yeah, so there's a little PSA for you guys, like shut the doors behind you if you're ever in a fire. But yeah, no, it's just yeah, I know. As I said, sometimes you can't help it. Like you have this knowledge, and so
and you
like for
panic.
me, yeah. So for
You know,
me, sometimes it's really annoying because you'll have like knowledge about something, and then when you're watching, it takes you out. It's not like the show's fault or anything. It's just like your brain is on crack and won't shut up.
but he was also stressed by being there, right? And
Well, true. Like, I mean, if you don't know anything about fire, well, like, you know, like, and honestly,
even without that, White runs in without, thinking what he's doing. He was not ready. He was already under pressure. He was so stressed. And the others, they probably prepared. They physically and mentally, they thought, what if something like this would happen? I think they must have considered that. What if one of them gets trapped? What if something,
yeah, this is what I
other
was
needs
saying.
to
Like, this is why it was bugging me earlier with the gloves thing, because and like, and as I said, knowing that, you know, fire can preserve evidence as well as destroy stuff, is that like they clearly would have done research, and it's very much shown by the fact that like White just goes in there, you know, when he sees Una and he's like, oh my god, and like runs in there to rescue him, becoming like, it's like any person ever in an emergency situation who doesn't know what they're doing but want to help, like they
Mhm.
always end up being an extra victim. And so like now suddenly you have two people to rescue. You had one, now you've got two, right? Whereas the other three, they go directly to the fountain. Like, so not only did they know to get like to wet their clothes, to stop,
Yeah,
to prevent the heat, to prevent smoke, all that sort of stuff. But they knew where there was a water source. Like they went straight there. So it's like
yeah.
they did research. Like they researched this place. They knew the floor plan of it. They knew the escape routes. They knew all these things. And so like that once again is highlighting this thing that like this person is not black. This person did not know what they were doing. They just like ran in for like no reason. Um and
Besides
it
the fact
shows
that they
you.
didn't know what they were doing, they run in, which seems like not a very black thing to do in that kind of a
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, like it shows us like how untried he is. Like, once again, he's just like he has no idea what the fuck he's doing, you know?
Hmm.
And it's so again because it's once again it's really interesting because Sean is directs the other two to go and save the mysterious person and says that he's going to get black himself. And I was just like, I literally, my notes has like the word why in it like 20 times. I'm just like, why, Sean, why? Why? And even this stuff when they're in the fire, like it's filmed so well. It's filmed
Oh,
so
yes.
well. And
And like how Sean rescues White, York rescues Dan. But what goes on in White's head is clearly, or well, look, this is my savior, and if he's saving me, that means he cannot be evil. That
yeah,
a person who's evil would not come back after him.
well, this is my question. Like, okay, I have things, right? So, like, first off, with Yoke and Dan, aka Una, we have a very like "come with me if you want to live" moment.
Uh-huh.
I'm having all of these references in my brain today. What is that from? That's like Terminator or something, isn't it? Come with me if you want to live. I don't know.
Or
Yeah,
maybe.
something like that.
Vaguely, I vaguely remember, but I don't really.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like come with me if you want to live. Like it was just a
Uh-huh,
very that kind of moment. Like it didn't
uh-huh.
have that vibe to it, right? And then we have Sean saving Black, aka White, and I'm just like I've got so many feelings and thoughts about this because I'm like, is he just doing it because he's a good person? Because Sean is a good person, right?
Hmm.
Or is it because there's something like I don't know the way he grabs like White's head and like looks into his eyes, and then he covers him with his jacket and like picks him up. I don't know. I can't help it. I was romanticizing the fuck out of this scene.
Well, it's because
And
of the framing. The framing was romanticizing the fuck out of the scene
I
because
was
it's
like, I was like about to go feral. I was getting really like, wow. I mean, and then of course then
can you feel yourself if that raw happens again? I want to see that.
would you say?
And just let it go. Like if you feel that draw coming to you, just film yourself and send the video to me. I want to see that.
But yeah, I'm
I
just
want to
like,
experience
why?
that.
I'm like, why? And because, like, okay, as I said, it has to be because he's a good person, right? Because I can't see why Sean would risk his own life to save Black. Like, he doesn't like
And
him.
also he needs him.
Yeah, he does, but he's once again he's so gentle with him, like the touching of the face and the wrapping of the jacket and the picking of him up, like
It's
he could have
like
just dragged his ass out of there. Instead, he was
he's
all gentle with him.
oscillating. He's just oscillating between being very rough with him, all the neck grabbing and everything, and then being there very gentle with him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's doing it for me.
Yeah, yeah. And later,
I'm like, oh, and now it's recorded for posterity for life.
every, everything we see the violence, the music that is growing in intensity or tensions, I'm not sure. While everything is consumed by fire, and it's a really nice imagery. And what I'm reading here is that fire destroys, and we see everything burning.
Yeah, yeah.
Unar's painting, or Tawi's house, and everything that belongs in there. They almost died, and fire destroys everything, the good and the bad, just as anger. So
Mm-mm.
that there has to be a better way indeed.
Yeah, well, because this is the thing, isn't it? Fire doesn't just, it's like anything, it doesn't discriminate. It's just going to tear through that.
Yes, and this fire was caused by the anger of people, just as Sean says, he must know people are angry because he's about above the law. So this fire to me represents anger that
Mm,
consumes everything.
mm,
So then we see Yok and Unar,
yeah.
and Yok asks him if he works for Tawi, and he says he doesn't, and Yok just wants to see his face, but we know Unar cannot allow that to happen because he has his own agenda. So he pushes him away and he runs away, and
Mm.
we see that he had his own ladder, right? Because it wasn't Yok and it wasn't.
No,
Oh, that's. Oh, can you say
it
that again?
wasn't their land. It wasn't their ladder.
How come they did not see them? Like, they did such a shitty job. Like, what
Well,
the
that's
fuck,
why
guys?
they're like, it's like there's no one in the house, so we didn't look very well.
Yeah,
But like
nothing
we
suspicious.
we
Ladder.
we see this bit here, which is the start essentially of like Una or Dan and Yoke storyline. And it's like I'm just like in this. Yoke is like obsessed. He's becoming very quickly. You see it. There's like this obsessive like desire
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
what he looks like, and it's like. But the thing that triggered that was when he saw his art, and it's like,
yeah.
dude, you're like gonna become obsessed with this guy because you liked his art. Like, I mean, I get it, but
Of course,
it's just
he's like this mysterious person now that is also probably on their side, and now he's obsessed. It's like a love at first sight for him.
yeah.
It's very romantic.
I'm gonna upset people. I think as we go in further and we talk about Dan and Yoke because I have opinions. But yeah, I was like, I remember seeing this though and just being like, damn. And then it's like, it's weird. It's one of those weird things because it's like Yoke just saved his life, but then it's like he
Mhm.
also put him in danger in the first place. So it's kind of like this weird, as you said, like cylindrical like thing. It's like, can you really thank someone for saving your life when they were pretty much the reason why you're in danger in the first place? Um,
And then we see um White
Sean getting
being
white out.
rescued. Yes,
Oh,
they're outside. White is freaking
oh my
out.
god, he
He
is
is
freaking
angry.
out. Yes, he is.
He
And we
is
get this
scared. He is desperate. He is just ah. I love the
frothing
way
at
it
the
was
mouth,
played. I just
basically.
love the way it was played. I love it.
Yeah,
And he
he is.
asks he
He's, as
asks
I said,
who
his gun is all but frothing at the mouth here. It's awesome.
who would take responsibility if someone dies, and Sean, as if White was not on the verge of nothingness already, he delivers the final blow. He
Yeah.
says, we all are mostly you because it was your plan.
Yes,
And
we get the
we
reveal.
hear this whistling sound as
Yeah,
if
yeah.
getting hit in the head again, because it is a blow
Yeah,
to White
it's
to
like
hear
when
that.
you yeah, it is. It's like when you get hit in the head or something and you have that like ringing sound in your
Hmm.
head because it's not like you can't comprehend what's going on. Like there's just this
You're in shock.
yeah, yeah, it's like shock, yeah, kind of shock. And
Mhm.
so like that was such a cool little touch, I thought, like
It
in
was
terms of like the editing and that. Um and then we get Sean's whole like I'm going to give you one more
justifying
chance.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he justifies him, saying that, yeah, I guess you had the near death experience, but now just act like the black that I used to know.
Yeah. And it's so funny too as well because like Sean says this here and like he's basically given White permission to act differently like in the future because this big thing just happened to him. Like he's saying to him don't do that, but but also by like laying it out on the line, he's essentially said, look, I know this big thing just happened to you, like
Hmm.
stop acting weird and like start
Hmm.
being your old self. Whereas like so like later on if he's still acting weird then they can all go, oh well, he did almost just die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah,
put that in the universe.
yeah.
um And it's so funny though, because he's just like, I'm only gonna give you one more chance, and then he's like, be the Black I used to know, and it's like, dude, you don't want that. You don't know that yet, but you don't want that.
That is true.
Yeah,
And
and
then some gorgeous shots, like when we see White from his back, and the house is burning in the distance, and they're leaving him. He's left alone,
mm.
desperate and crushed, and he just falls to the ground. And
Well, this was this was worst best case. Sorry, this was best case worst case scenario, in that,
Mhm,
like, he didn't want to be involved, right? But he was still involved. He didn't want to pour the fuel, so he didn't, which meant there was a pathway, which meant that, the worst case scenario was that there was someone in the house, but because he didn't do that, they were able to get him out, best case scenario. But
mhm.
he still, like, the house is burnt to the ground. He almost died. Someone else almost died. Like, they're all angry at him. He's hurt because he burns himself, doesn't he? He burns his arm or something. So he's hurt. Like, he's in shock. He's just like so angry. And he's like angry at them, but he's like so angry at his brother. Like, he's so angry. And so, like,
And disbelief.
yeah, and so, yeah, just hurt, anger, disbelief, and it's like at him, it's at himself, like what happened just for like being there. It's at them, and but at the core of it, it's at Black, and it's like, oh, Gunn did such a good job playing this character and in this scene, and it's just
Amazing.
goosebumps,
Yes, I agree.
even just talking about it.
Let's go watch part three.
Oh no, I saw it just
No.
before we came over. I'm like, oh, it's another 10-minute bit. It's not fair. Where's our 19-minute bits?
I remember counting minutes in this series when I was watching them, because everything was important. Everything felt so important. Like no second felt wasted with this
No,
series.
that's right.
This is something that I loved
It
about it.
really doesn't. There's things that happen that I don't like, but it's personal preference.
For example, I know people are obsessed with Sean, but my favorite character in the series is White.
Yeah, I I don't know. I'll have to tell you later on, because I think I love them both equally, but I'm not sure. I am a
Mhm.
sucker for Off's characters in the, like, second half of the show. They always get me. Like, they always
Mhm.
destroy me. And Sean is not an exception to the rule. Like, yeah, I just, yeah. So
And people like Black a lot. I don't like Black.
I liked the potential for Black. Like, do you know what I
No,
mean?
it's
Like,
it's always fun to see a character that is, let's say, kind of bad get changed, but we didn't really see that with him. I mean,
no,
we
no,
know it happened, but we didn't really see that because
no,
he's
no,
not
yeah. And even
a
then,
main
I don't
character that
know.
is present.
Yeah, even then, like, we sort of talked about it a little bit, like you said in the last episode, like in the last podcast, that for episode 1, that we had this moment where we, like, there's been some character growth later on with Black, but it happened because of White's feelings for,
Mhm.
of some, like, for a reason, right? And that's right. We don't. But, like, then he says something, or he reveals he did something, which really kind of proves that, like, although he's a little bit, like, more chill or whatever, he hasn't really changed that much. Like, I would have liked to have seen. That's why I would have loved a second season that, like, was from Black's point of view. Like, I think that would have been really, like, fun to see. But yeah, I get what you mean. But there are, like, people are obsessed with Yoke and Una, Dan, and I'm not.
Mm.
So I'll put that out here now. um
Even if like I don't really like Unar, just as
mm,
with Black, but still I think they're pretty amazing characters, and they're interesting, and we're
I
going to discuss them even
oh yeah,
if
look,
we personally don't
when
agree
I
or like
said, like, but I'm
them.
not. It's hard to explain, but yeah, exactly what you're
Yeah,
saying.
no, I
I
think I understand what you're saying. I'm pretty sure that our
Yeah, yeah,
listeners
yeah.
understand you as well.
No, I just, it's not even like, it's just But I think that everything they did with them is really interesting. I think that
Yeah.
like I can't wait to talk about it. I just feel like I'm gonna say things that might upset me, but I can't wait to talk about it. But I don't really I can't
I
picture.
cannot wait to upset people.
Yeah, I don't mean it like that, but you know what I mean. Is that the
I
name of
know
this
this is
episode? I cannot wait
exactly
to
what she
upset
means. People,
people.
this is exactly what she means. She enjoys being
Being contrary.
contrarian.
Yeah. I'm like, stop roasting me, okay? Like,
Never.
look at this. She's hanging me out to dry, right? This is true friendship, right? Seriously. Um, and so, uh, speaking of which, I saw this thing the other day, and it said like true friendship is having one person who like remembers everything and like knows like everything, and then one person who has no idea what's going on. And I'm like, that's me, and that's you. You're the one who knows and remembers everything, and I'm the one who's like, what are we doing
I
again?
really don't.
Yeah, you trust me, you do. You're like, Zoe. You have the ability to rein me in. That's a great superpower. But anyway, the reason why I started to say this was initially was the thing about the Dan and the yoke of it was I cannot think of any scene really, like we were talking about how like every minute, second, whatever feels like it's not wasted anyway. I can't think of any scene that I didn't like.
Hmm.
Like in
Yeah.
the or not so no sorry, not that I didn't like. There are things that I didn't like, but that like I didn't think shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like
Like,
that's a
it
different
is a
thing.
part of the story, yes,
Yeah,
and
like
it
I feel like it has
feels.
value. It should be
Yeah.
there or whatever.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
had things where I was like, "Oh, I hate that he did this," or "I hate that," but it's
Yeah.
more about
Yeah.
the characters' motivations and like they didn't behave in the way that I wanted them to, and that is a personal thing. That is not a criticism, like a valid criticism for a show. I don't think, but I'll talk about it because I think it's fun. So, but yeah, I can't. I mean, there may be something as we're watching through, or be like, oh, I wish they didn't do this, or like, I don't get why they did it this way. I mean, like, I jokingly was not, well, not jokingly, I was serious, but like, the gloves things bugs me. But that's like, that's that is like, I don't think that that is bad writing or bad direction because I feel like there are a bunch of like essentially young adult teenage men or whatever who are probably not really thinking about stuff like that. But me, I
Maybe they
me,
forgot.
I'm committing
Maybe
a
they
crime.
didn't know that the fire preserves evidence.
Yeah, but I read too many books. That's what's wrong with me. Me, if I'm committing a crime, I'm wearing like a full bodysuit condom like rubber glove thing. Like you ain't getting no DNA from me. I'd be like the boy. I'd be like the boy in the bubble. Like I would just not leave. There would be no crime because I would not want to leave my hermetically
People
sealed
don't
environment.
make Zoe angry.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked her in the last podcast. I started laughing in the last podcast at some point, and she was like, "Are you laughing at me?" And she just drew the knives. I was like,
I did not. Look, we're not even on the same continent. How do you know what I drew?
I could hear them. I was like, you were already throwing knives into something. I could hear the sound.
It's like
People crying out. Just
oh no, seriously, I'm like, you know. Well, I feel like if someone has a voodoo doll or something of me, I'm like, can they like rub the back a little bit because it's a bit sore, you know? But yeah, no. I like how she says I threw the knives. You guys should know this that the knives emoji is Morella's favorite. I am not the person, and Cass will back me up. I am not the person in this relationship that throws knives out.
Yes, but I do it with love. I
I
only do
must
it to
admit,
many
I
people
must
that I love.
admit, usually I smile when you drop a knife emoji because like I know there's a little bit of affection in there as well as the like, what are you doing?
If I threaten you, it means that I like you. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's okay. Just let's move on. So this is
She's like, stop
this is the
revealing all of my secrets.
this is the end of part one of our reaction slash critical discussion for Not Me episode 2.
That's right. And now we're gonna
Thank
make
you.
you wait like 3 days until the next bit because we're evil like that.
So thank you for spending your time with us. Follow us on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Spotify, interact with us.
And if you think of what that person is, or if you know what that person is, it was in the tree in the white with the, what did you say, yellow or red something? I don't know. and you and you know
This
what
is
it is,
exactly what I said.
you
Yes.
know what it's meant to represent. Let us know in the comments. And yeah, we'll talk to you. No, don't not. We'll talk to you. Bye for now.
Bye.